straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here.
I am Rupha Ramani and you're watching Firstpost. Now, after the players, the one aspect that makes a sport successful and contributes to the growth are its fans. And they are sometimes honest critics when it comes down to their very own favorites. And there's also, of course, the love that is blind at times as well, where their heroes can do no wrong. We look at stories where both these kind of fans feature. What is the latest faux pas that Pakistan cricket finds themselves in? Why are Cristiano Ronaldo fans enraged? Stick around to find out more. And of course, the latest from the Turkey Football League that got suspended, with fresh violence in another sport in Turkey coming out again. All that is lined up for you tonight. But first, some Sports 360 news, where we will begin with the spiciest bit of news coming in. Starting with cricket, it's time for Hardik Pandya fans to celebrate. He will be captaining the IPL franchise Mumbai Indians for the 2024 season. Pandya, who was traded from Gujarat Titans in November this year, will replace their long-standing captain Rohit Sharma. The Board of Control for Cricket in India, or BCCI, will retire former captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni's number 7 jersey. This means that no new players will be allowed to pick the number 7 for themselves. This is not the first time that a shirt number has been taken off the shelf for current players. Batting legend Sachin Tendulkar's number 10 jersey has also been retired by the BCCI. So too a number of other players across sporting disciplines like Pele's number 10, Michael Jordan's number 23 or Kobe Bryant's 24. 6 shirts worn by Argentine legend Lionel Messi at the 2022 World Cup have been sold for over $7.8 million at an auction. The collection included the shirt that Messi wore during the World Cup final against France. The details of the buyer who have purchased Messi's Argentina jerseys has not been disclosed. Liverpool were handed a 2-1 defeat by Union Saint-Gilloise in the Europa League. The Belgian club took a lead over Liverpool in the 32nd minute. 7 minutes later, the Reds came back with an equaliser to score 1-1. Just before half-time, Cameron Pureta scored for the winning goal for Union Saint-Gilloise. Despite the loss, Liverpool are through to the last 16. And in hockey, Germany beat India 4-1 in the Men's Junior World Cup semi-final. It's the second time they've exited in this stage, and that too to Germany, who scored early in the 8th minute. Then Indian Colts equalized in the 11th. However, Germany took the game away from India after scoring 3 goals after the first quarter. India squandered away too many penalty corners in the match. India will play either France or Spain for the 3rd place on Saturday. Let's start this show with some cricket news that's just come in an announcement that has taken many by surprise. Mumbai Indians have announced their new captain for the Indian Premier League season 2023-2024. Hardik Pandya is set to take over from Rohit Sharma as skipper of the franchise in the coming year. This comes amidst talks of Rohit Sharma's future as India's captain in the shorter format of the game, and his interest to pursue a career in the white ball formats. Hardik, remember, was traded from Gujarat Titans for a hefty sum. The trading news, in fact, kept everyone in tenterhooks for days before the official announcement came in. Gujarat Titans were, of course, quick to announce Shubman Gill as their skipper. But coming back to this announcement of leadership, in a statement, this is what Mahela Jayawardene, who's the global head of performance with the franchise, said. And I quote, "It is part of legacy building and staying true to the MI philosophy of being future ready. And it is in keeping with this philosophy that Hardik Pandya will assume captaincy of Mumbai Indians for the IPL 2024 season. We express our gratitude to Rohit Sharma for his exceptional leadership. His tenure as the captain of the Mumbai Indians since 2013 has been nothing short of extraordinary. We welcome Hardik Pandya as the new captain of MI and wish him all the very best." This, of course, is a massive development, keeping in mind the Indian cricket team's preparation for the upcoming T20 World Cup in June next year. And it is something we'll be keenly following here on Firstpost as well. No, these are not my words. It's of those of very loyal Pakistani cricket fans who are outraged. Now, we'll tell you the reason for their ire and anger. Pakistan cricket seems to be on a very sticky wicket. It has been a very horrid last few months, at least going by the performances on the field. They did not have a very good build-up to the World Cup either, crashing out of the Asia Cup. But that was just put aside. Everyone said a mercurial side like Pakistan can always bounce back at a World Cup, much like their predecessors had in the past. But that wasn't to be. The World Cup was an utter disappointment. Former Pakistan cricketers were criticizing the players and their performance. And then, of course, there were talks emerging during the tournament itself of the players not having been paid, of there being discord between the top players, particularly the captain back then, Babar Azam, and the chief of Pakistan Cricket Board, or the PCB, Zaka Ashraf. The end of the World Cup resulted in the end of the road for not just every top brass associated with Pakistan cricket, but just about everyone surrounding it too. Captains, Shan Masood for tests, Shaheen Shah Afridi for shorter formats. New director of cricket, out went Mickey Arthur and his team, and Mohammad Hafiz is brought in. New PCB chief selector, out with Inzamam ul Haq, and in came Pakistan's former pacer Wahab Riaz. All these changes, and you would think that there will be less noise now and more focus on cricket. Well, you're sadly mistaken. Shan Masood, the new skipper, is immediately questioned on being the sacrificial lamb for Pakistan cricket, a scapegoat. He fielded it admirably, but the reason the question was asked is because the decision makers in Pakistan cricket, by letting someone like Babar Azam step down and putting an inexperienced hand at the helm of affairs, especially ahead of a most challenging format, Test cricket, and against a daunting opponent in Australia, is rather questionable. And the fans of Pakistan cricket are catching on to this, catching on to the missteps that Pakistan cricket seems to be continuing to make. Now, before heading to Australia, there was a huge row over availability of their key pacer, Haris Rauf. You need all the experienced personnel you can get, especially during a trying tour like the one against Australia. It's a tour Pakistan has not had good memories of. They've fared terribly down under. They experienced whitewashes in their last two series. Haris Rauf and the PCB were at loggerheads because he said he was playing too much cricket and did not want to be a part of the Australia series. The PCB had been miffed and even released a statement indicating that no player can refuse playing for the country.
As a centrally contracted player, we felt he should have not taken a step back. We felt Haris, if he wanted to play for Pakistan, should as a player be ready to make a sacrifice and play for the team. Any player, no matter who he is or how big a player is, if he is not giving priority to the Pakistan team, then he will not feature in our future plans.
And that is one bold statement, almost threatening Haris Rauf that if he continues to refuse playing for the country, he will not be considered here on for any series. And just days later comes the news that Haris Rauf has been given the NOC by the very same PCB headed by Wahab Riaz of playing the Big Bash League.
From now until the New Zealand series, there is a gap of 1.5 months, during which Haris Rauf isn't playing any cricket. His contract with Cricket Australia for the Big Bash comprises of only 5 games. Considering the thought that there won't be any cricket for 1.5 months, and he's a fast bowler, to ensure he maintains his rhythm, we will have given him a no objection certificate from December 7th to 28th. This covers his 5 Big Bash matches so that he can then travel with the Pakistan team for the New Zealand tour. This is the science behind giving him the NOC.
That was a complete U-turn after there was a huge furore over Rauf not wanting to tour Australia. But what has shocked fans is the selection of the playing 11 for the first test against Australia that has begun in Perth. The think tank decided to go ahead with the experienced Sarfraz Ahmed, who has captained Pakistan. A bit of a controversial career that he's had himself. But that move completely riled up the cricket fans back in Pakistan, who expressed shock and disbelief of not picking someone for the future and has been a mainstay like Mohammad Rizwan, especially in the conditions that they were playing in. They lambasted the PCB, saying they were turning team selection into a big joke. Rizwan has been a consistent performer for Pakistan in the recent past, and he was one of their top performers when Pakistan played New Zealand at home in a test series in 2022-23. Pakistan also handed debuts to fast bowlers Amir Jamal and Khurram Shehzad, and they decided to go without a frontline spinner. Apart from new faces, there are old faces returning to the fold after as long as a year of missing out on red ball cricket, like Fahim Ashraf, along with Sarfraz Ahmed, whom we mentioned earlier. They are seen in whites after ages. In the absence of Rauf and Naseem Shah, all the responsibility in the bowling department is on the shoulders of Shaheen Shah Afridi. The Pakistan cricket team has gone through trial by fire in India during the World Cup and up against the ODI champions now in their own backyard. The pressure to at least put up a fight and not crumble, like they have in the past, will be the biggest challenge. The fact that they have been forced to go to extremities like bring in newbies or debutants on one hand, including in captaincy and leadership, and as well as old war horses who have not played Test cricket in a long while, shows that it's a gamble that they will hope desperately must pay off. Much like the typical manner Pakistan plays its cricket, they have always been lauded and accused of, ironically, of their temperamental nature that has been symbolic of Pakistan cricket. But to fall for the same trope and mistakes despite going through a horrible World Cup is what has gotten fans enraged. Risky affair this, but the question is how long will they keep persisting with the seemingly irrational decisions, especially with another World Cup just around the corner. And Turkish sports is making the headlines yet again. Regretfully, not for triumphs on the field, but for all the wrong reasons. Now, we told you about the recent incidents of a Super League match, the violence that flared up on a football pitch. Yes, you heard me right. Let me recap quickly what happened just a few days ago. A club president brazenly invaded the pitch and physically assaulted a top referee. The referee, Halil Umut Mila, was in fact hospitalized for his bruises and fractures. Thankfully, it was just that. The football fans then rushed in too. The club president was Faruk Koka of Ankara Gucu Football Club. Post that mob attack, the league was suspended indefinitely, but now there is confirmation of the league resuming next week.
As you know, at the end of the meeting we held with the board after referee Halil Umut Miller was punched, we had decided to indefinitely postpone games in all leagues. With the decision we took today, all leagues will start again on Tuesday, December 19th.
The top football league will kick off again after this break, but it will be without the culprit who stirred all the chaos, the man who put the league and the country to disrepute. Faruk Koka has been permanently banned after he was arrested. Ankara Gucu, the club whose fans also invaded the pitch, have been fined at least $54,000. And the penalties don't end here. The most important aspect of any sport right after the players are the fans, like we've said. The club will have to play their 5 home games without the fans in front of empty stadiums. No fans will be allowed to watch or cheer for Ankara Gucu in these 5 home matches. All of these punishments, of course, coming in after the Turkish president Erdogan himself expressed his grief and disgust at the violence that had taken over, saying sports and violence were simply incompatible. Those were his words. The one good news coming out of this, of course, is that the referee, Halil Umut Mila, is on the road to recovery.
We've just discharged him in good health. He is in good spirits and doing well. He'll no doubt be following up wherever he goes, but right now he has no problems other than a slight swelling in his eye.
Now, you might be thinking this chapter is over and Turkey is breathing a sigh of relief. But the violence hasn't ended here. The spotlight has shifted to a women's football team now, which fell victim to a shocking attack by the spectators. Yes, you heard me right, the spectators. Let me show you a clip of that violence. That's a football arena. Unbelievable, isn't it? The stands turned into total chaos. Players freaked out and screamed in fear. It wasn't a sporting arena anymore. Now, it seemed like a battleground, with players fending for themselves as glass bottles were hurled at them. Now, the scene was unsettling. The players who were attacked belonged to the Turkish club, Nisa Hotel Volleyball. They were playing an away match in the city of Adana. It was against Imam Oglu Belediye. One player sustained cuts on her legs that required stitches. The president of the club, which was attacked, revealed he had filed a criminal complaint against opponents Imam Oglu Belediye and their supporters. Now, let me quote what he exactly said. They said unspeakable words to our players and our coaches. At the end of the match, the stands weren't emptied and our athletes weren't allowed to go to the locker room. Glass cups and bottles were thrown onto the court, and some tried to get onto the court to beat our athletes. Now, volleyball is not just a mere game, not at least for Turkey. Their women's national volleyball team is nicknamed Filenin Sultan Lari. And do you know what that means? It means Sultans of the Net. Yes, the women's team are hailed as the Sultans of the Net, and they are Turkey's most successful sports team. In July, the team won the Volleyball Nations League Championship. They ranked number 1 in the world, and their recent conquest was the Women's European Volleyball Championship, where they clinched a nail-biting victory after toppling Serbia in the final. Sporting heroes must be a source of national pride. Instead, these athletes are questioned for their personal choices. They do not cover their bodies or heads. They are seen in jerseys and funky tattoos. They are unabashedly themselves. So amidst these social divides, they become a beacon of defiance, which makes them targets of conservative groups. And let's not forget, Turkey was devastated by an earthquake earlier this year. They lost many lives in that calamity. It was volleyball and these women who gave them the respite and joy from their victories. Today, the flag bearers of the same game are boarded and thrown glass bottles at. It has stained the reputation of the game that brought Turkey much honor. The football incident first and then this. President Erdogan said it right in football. The call should be set to set it right in every sporting arena. Are you an active participant in the age-old debate over who's the better footballer, Messi or Ronaldo? Now, if you are a Messi fan, chances are you're ecstatic because you have won it almost all this year. Well, almost all. He held off competition from Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe to take home his record 8th Ballon d'Or. What's next on the list? Why, the best FIFA Football Award 2023, of course. But if you are a Ronaldo fan, then my apologies. CR7 fans are enraged. They're slamming FIFA for favoritism. He was snubbed from the Ballon d'Or 2023 list and is now omitted from this one as well. Is that a fair call, though? Take a look.
The nominees for Men's FIFA Player of the Year are out, and no props for guessing who is in the star-studded list. This is the 8th edition of the prestigious awards, and the ceremony will take place on January 15th. It somewhat mirrors the Ballon d'Or that was held in October, because it will be another contest between Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. These are the same top 3 who were in the running for the Ballon d'Or just some months ago. Haaland played a pivotal role in Manchester City's title treble. He helped the club win the Champions League, the English Premier League and the FA Cup. French giants Paris Saint-Germain were crowned the Ligue 1 champions, all thanks to Kylian Mbappe and Argentine star Lionel Messi, who also went on to help Inter Miami in lifting the League's Cup trophy. And how can we forget Messi leading his Argentinian side to a massive World Cup win in 2022. We know that these are the usual suspects and FIFA loves them. At least that's what fans believe. Many of them are enraged because of one name that's missing from that list, and you know who that is by now. Cristiano Ronaldo was also snubbed from this year's Ballon d'Or list, and after the latest omission for the FIFA award, fans are livid. They took to social media to accuse FIFA of favoritism. He may have swapped European leagues for Saudi giants Al Nassr, but even at 38, he's nothing short of sensational. Ronaldo is the top goal scorer of 2023 with a staggering 50 goals. He has played 47 matches for Al Nassr and chipped in with 40 goals already. And he found the back of the net for Portugal 10 times and helped them win all 10 of their Euro 2024 qualifying matches. This marks the 8th time that Ronaldo has scored a half-century of goals in a single calendar year. That's an incredible statistic. Only Erling Haaland stands alongside Ronaldo in scoring 50 goals this year. It's these impressive track records that fans are putting out in Ronaldo's defense. They say stripping Ronaldo of the nomination is unfair and that FIFA is harboring a bias. Here's how the head-to-head comparison looks like between the two legends of the sport. All these contributions are made both towards their respective club and national sides for the year 2023. Messi has made a total of 44 appearances and netted 28 goals in total. Despite the notable difference in numbers, the Al Nassr captain finds himself out of contention of yet another accolade. Then there's the other side to Ronaldo. He has had several instances of disagreements with referees in his career. Ronaldo was given a red card on his Champions League debut for Juventus after clashing with Jason Murillo. In 2017, he was given a 5-match ban for pushing a referee during a Spanish Super Cup. In 2021, when Ronaldo removed 2 Coca-Cola bottles during a press conference, it caused a worldwide storm. The company's shares dropped and it lost $4 billion in market value. Perhaps all these could have brought him in FIFA's bad books. And then, of course, he chose to move to Saudi Arabia. That clearly ruffled some feathers. For now, fans of both these superstars will be eagerly waiting for Feb 2024, when Messi's club Inter Miami will take on Ronaldo's team Al Nassr on Feb 1st. The two titans will go head-on against each other for the 37th time. All of this steam and pent-up anger will probably be let out then.
Now it's time for Last Serve here on the show, and today we bring you the story of resilience and grit. Now you've seen marathon runners. They are quite people with stamina, but imagine running a marathon in sub-zero temperatures. American runners Stephanie Estridge and Michael Higgins won the women's and men's marathons at the Union Glacier in Antarctica. It was quite the visuals.
Come on.
Quite the breathtaking visuals but that does it here on Firstpost today. We'll of course see you the next week. Have a nice weekend yourselves, and we'll keep bringing you fresh perspectives here from the world of sports. Till now then, bye.